Need a bone. Welcome, everybody, to Team Needabone's Rank-A-Bone podcast series, the definitive ranking series where we take your beloved franchises and pretend like we are qualified to tell you where they stack up. I'm Bander, and joining me today is, of course, the master of all things emeralds, Joey Spicey Fries.
Hey, everyone. How's it going tonight?
Doing okay, Joey?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. Why do you ask? What's wrong?
We're having a show. We're supposed to, have a nice, friendly banter. That's how these things work, right? Right? I think.
Sure. Maybe.
If you didn't know, Rank-A-Bone is a series where we review and rank each and every game in a franchise's series. Of course, we are doing Sonic the Hedgehog series, and today we are giving you our thoughts on Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Of course, Mobius does not revolve around us. Did you get that? Because Mobius is Sonic's planet. We want to hear your thoughts on Sonic 2 as well, so let us know your thoughts on Sonic 2 as well as our next episodes, Sonic 3. Actually, no. Sonic CD. Sorry. Sonic 2 was released on November 21st, 1992 for the Sega Genesis. The game sold over 6 million copies and was the first game to feature Sonic's best friend, Miles Tails Prower. Tails was fully playable by himself, and if you plugged in a second controller into your Sega Genesis for the early... Tails was fully playable by himself, and if you plugged in a second controller, you can play as him alongside Sonic, and for the early years of my childhood, that is how I experienced Sonic 2 because my sister always made me play as Tails.
Sibling superiority at its finest.
You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know what it's like to be in my shoes, Joey, would you?
No, I'm on the other end. I was the one that always made my younger sibling play the lesser favored second player characters.
The game also featured a multiplayer mode, but it sucks, so we didn't play it. The story for this game is fairly straightforward. Sonic and Tails must stop Dr. Robotnik from stealing the Chaos Emeralds to power his space station, the Death Egg. The game was directed by Masuharu Yoshim, who also went on to direct Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Director of Sonic 1, Yuji Naka, was still on the team, but as a programmer. Composed by the Masato Nakamura, same as with Sonic 1. And I honestly think that the soundtrack is a lot better than Sonic 1. I think the set tracks are a lot more iconic. What do you think?
I'm sure I spoke of this in the first Rank-A-Bone. I'm a guy that loves the soundtracks that come out of games. I enjoyed it. I especially enjoy Sonic soundtracks because they're so nostalgic,
fast-paced and
fast-paced. They have their own style about them, and it's amazing.
Puts you in such a good mood when you're listening to them. It's just fantastic.
Exactly. It goes hand in hand with speeding right through the zones.
Some more fun facts for you guys. This game was the first introduction of the spin dash move. If you own a copy of Sonic and Knuckles, you can attach it to Sonic 2 and play as Knuckles throughout the entire game. This gives access to previously unreachable areas using Knuckles' glide. The game also has a few cut levels throughout its development, as well as a time travel feature that was later repurposed for Sonic CD. One of the levels, Hidden Palace Zone, was originally meant to tell Sonic the origins of the Chaos Emeralds and give Sonic the Supersonic power-up, but this was later included in Sonic and Knuckles and remade in an iOS version of the game. I think that's what I have here. I think I've cut it off. Okay. Another cut level was simply called Wood Zone. Sounds a lot like Bridge from Sonic Chaos, Sonic the Hedgehog not Sonic Chaos, I forget. Both of these stages were in fact playable at some point. This is known because during development, a demonstration cartridge was stolen at a New York City toy show in 1992. This was later distributed as a ROM on a Chinese website where you can play parts of these two stages on that ROM. Very interesting. Stolen cartridge. Who knew Sonic was that valuable back in 1992? His value would never again get better than that.
Of course.
Another cut stage called Dust Hill Zone was shown off in early screenshots and later influenced the design of Sonic Mania's Mirage Saloon Zone. The last zone was only referenced on the stolen cartridge in the level slot data. It was called Genocide City.
Oh
and
my
was
gosh.
eventually repurposed into Metropolis Act 3. I can see why they didn't want to use Genocide City. Because, Jesus Christ, Sega, that would not fly, even in
No, that would
1992.
not.
The stage Casino Night Zone was also chosen for the 3D... Oh, wait, sorry, one more. The stage Chemical Plant Zone was chosen as the Sonic 2 level in Sonic Generations and was also remixed in Sonic Mania alongside Oil Ocean. The stage Casino Night Zone was also chosen for the 3DS version of Generations, as well as a DLC bonus level for the console version. And finally, an 8-bit version of the game was released for the Game Gear and Master System, just like for Sonic 1. And those are all my fun facts for Sonic 2.
Those are some pretty fun facts. I had fun listening to them.
Oh, I had fun telling them, especially the part where demonstration cards got stolen. How do you think that even... how do you think that even goes down? Like, someone, like, steals the cartridge, uploads it, distributes it? Like, that's got to be a very specific person coming into that stage show to be able to do all that.
Right?
That's just weird. Well, let's get into our opening thoughts. Joey, what did you think of Sonic 2?
I enjoyed it. It was one of my all-time favorite games growing up, and to go back in time and play through it all again felt like a kid. It was so much fun.
Sonic 2 was the very first video game I've ever played. At least I think it was. It was either that or Toy Story, but I'm not sure I'm going to say it's Sonic 2 anyway, because I think that came with the console. And I fucking love this video game. It is one of my favorite games of all time. It is such a good game. It holds up so well. I'm going to try to be as unbiased as possible when it comes to comparing it to Sonic CD and Sonic Knuckles and Sonic 3. But I can tell you, it's way better than Sonic 1, that's for sure.
I was going to say, it's a definite improvement to Sonic 1.
Yeah, spoiler alert for our rankings, but this is definitely going higher. And like I said, I'll try to be unbiased when it comes to those things, but goddamn, I love this game so much. It's such...
You have
so
to be
good.
a tad biased when it comes to ranking games, but at the same time, you have to be professional about it. Because we're professional here.
I mean, it's all opinion based. It's literally nothing but opinion based, and you can tell because Joey still thinks Shadow the Hedgehog is a good game. Please send help. Your thoughts and prayers, every 1,000 thoughts and prayers will help Joey see the light that Shadow the Hedgehog is a shit game.
You're a shit person. Well, let's continue. We'll talk about Shadow when we get there.
Alrighty, our first level. Joey, you saw that list of levels? Could you find that for me?
I do right here. Well, I have them in alphabetic order, but I'm pretty sure it started off with Emerald Hill Zone.
Emerald Hill Zone. As much as I loved this level as a kid because I played it so much, it's very obvious that it is a almost carbon copy of Green Hill Zone.
It very much is, yes, but it's one of those zones where it's fun, it's fast paced, you really don't care. It's a great opener to the game because it's not too difficult and you just blast right through it. Way to get into the game that way.
Definitely agree with you. I think the sense of speed is perfect, but at the same time, because it's not really original, it's just kind of just Green Hill Zone again. I can't really give it too much credit for that. Just that's me trying to be unbiased about it.
Really, the only difference is, well, besides
graphically, it's way better.
The music too.
Yeah. And I love Emerald Hill Zone. I've played that level so many freaking times because I sucked at the game. Stage 2, probably my favorite level of all time in terms of Sonic, as far as aesthetic goes. Chemical Plant Zone. Fucking Chemical Plant Zone. I love this level so much.
It's a great level. Lots of fun throughout. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, and again, the sense of speed is perfect. There's the ramps that take you all the way down to the level and into the water. Tons of loop-de-loops, those pipes that make you travel all through the course.
Yeah, no, I definitely think Sega took notes from Sonic 1. Don't focus so much on jumping and platforming. Give it the speed, man. So that's what a Sonic game is all about.
Yeah, and at the same time, the platforming is still there, and it's challenging, and there's a lot of parts where you can literally just fall into an endless pit with very little chance of actually getting out, and it's fantastic. It's such a good level, and I'm glad that that's kind of like the staple of Sonic 2 is Chemical Plant Zone. And the music, oh my god, I love the music, it's so good. Next.
Next we have... Oh god, I have it all in alphabetic order. I don't know.
I think it's Mystic Ruin Zone? Is that correct? Is that one on there?
Mystic Cave Zone.
Aquatic Ruin?
I believe that is the next one.
Aquatic Ruin?
Aquatic Ruin Zone.
Is that one?
There's that. Yes.
Aquatic Ruin. That's the next one. What do you think of Aquatic Ruin?
Right, it was fun. It had its few moments here of there and there for me getting stuck in the water, I want to get through this level. I'm enjoying it, but I want to get through it.
The water's a little rough. It's not as challenging as what I would say like Labyrinth Zone would be.
Right.
And the thematic to it and the music to it isn't the best, but it definitely still works, and I like the fact that the vines kind of cover you, and I feel like the drill enemies are very challenging and pop out of nowhere sometimes, but
yeah,
I think it's kind of cool because the level really has a good sense of like, you can play the level almost two different ways, where one, you may not even touch the water, and two, you're in the water the entire level. And I think I like that aspect a lot versus Labyrinth Zone, where you're pretty much in the water the entire time.
You're there the entire time.
Yeah. There's one aspect of Aquatic Ruin that I really like that I'll get to in a later section. We'll keep that in mind though. Next
we have Casino Night Zone.
Casino Night Zone. It's like
I would have to say that is my highlight of the levels. I loved Casino Night Zone. It's
right.
So much fun.
It's really good. I think Carnival Night Zone in Sonic 3, I think is a better stage. I think it's more fun. But Casino Night Zone is like, it's such a trendsetter. And I guess, maybe Spring Yard Zone is kind of an early idea of it. But
right.
Casino Night Zone is such a iconic Sonic style level where you have like was it Bingo Highway, Casinopolis Zone,
right.
Carnival Night Zone. It's just like that kind of like obviously gambling themed levels that Sonic is known for. They're so good. And I love this one.
I think what put it over the top for me with that zone was the boss fight. Like a pinball themed boss fight.
Yeah.
I love it. So much fun.
Super cool. Oh, I gotta point out, in Chemical Plant Zone, Act 2 for Sonic Mania, they turn the entire level into a remake of Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. And we'll get to that during Sonic Mania. But my god, what an amazing use of Chemical Plant Zone. That's so good. Next zone, please.
Next, we have Hilltop Zone.
Hilltop Zone. What is the... It's so...
Yes, that...
I remember hearing that song the first time. I'm like, oh my god, what is this level? I love this level. It's very simple, but it's got some really cool dynamics to it, and I really, really like it.
Oh no, definitely a fun zone.
Yeah, I love the color scheme to it. And you can absolutely cheese the boss fight if you have Tails plugged in.
Oh, right. No, I know exactly what you're talking about. Let's see here. Up next, we've got Mystic Cave Zone.
Your thoughts?
My thoughts on Mystic Cave Zone. This is me getting later on into the game. I get stagnant when I'm just going on and on and on, but I enjoyed it. It was a fun zone. The details put into it were pretty neat.
Okay. The one thing I have to say, this is definitely a negative, is this level has one of the worst spots where you can literally trap yourself and you can't get out. Like, you'll fall into a pit and you won't die. You'll just keep taking damage until you eventually get spiked to death and you can't get out. And it's really, really dumb. It's like it should have been a pitfall for all intents and purposes, but it's so easy to fall into too. It's a really weird design flaw of the game, and I think that's probably the worst part of the entire game is that pit. And I know a lot of people who've played the game probably know what I'm talking about. I definitely fell into it a couple times, and it's really bad. Luckily for me, at this point in the game, I had Supersonic. So this is part of the game where I was starting to jam through. And now I played Sonic 2 a lot, so it's not like having Supersonic changed my idea of the game, but it was a very different experience.
Right.
Although actually no, for one level, I have to say that Supersonic really changed how the level worked, and I don't know if that made it cheesy, but yeah, I mean, I like Mystic Cave Zone. I think it's kind of cool, but it's definitely not one of my favorite levels.
No, definitely not up there. Next, we have
Ocean
Zone.
I'll start with this one. Oil Ocean Zone is probably like my Stockholm Syndrome. Like, I hate you so much, but god damn it, do I keep coming back for more. Oil Ocean, I loathe Oil Ocean to my core. From the stupid seahorses and those stupid octopuses and those stupid platforms that go burp, 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 burp. It's such a well-designed level and such an amazing theme, but oh my god, I hate it. It's so tough.
Great level, but terrible level.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I was so upset but amazed at the same time when Mania remade Oil Ocean, because I was like, no, not Oil Ocean. But at the same time, they made it really cool and the gimmicks they did for it. So yeah, good on them.
Well, it's good that they did that. Let's see here. Next, we have. Oh, that's not what I'm looking for.
Is it Metropolis Zone?
I believe it is. It's either that or Sky Chase. No, I believe it's Metropolis.
Favorite song in the whole game, Metropolis Zone. I don't know, that's how it goes, but it's a good theme. I really like it.
You should just do the music for the Sonic games. You're pretty on fire with it.
That's Sonic 2. I love Sonic 2. The enemies in this level are probably the most bullshit enemies in all of Sonic. The crab that shoots its claw at you.
Oh, right.
The praying mantis with the sickles. And the starfish. Oh my god, those starfish are horrible. They're so hard. But it's really satisfying actually getting through it. It is a very difficult level, and almost a little bit too difficult, but god, it's such a good music, it's such a good aesthetic. Some of the gimmicks to it, like the spinning coils and the screws, are just such awesome designs.
Let's see. Up next, we have Sky Chase Zone.
Did you have any thoughts on Metropolis Zone before we moved on?
No, you pretty much hit the nail on the head with that one. Same thing with the enemies.
All right, Sky Chase Zone.
Sky Chase Zone. I really don't remember much of this level.
It's the level where you're flying in the plane with Tails.
That's right. Okay. A fun take at a different play style.
I love that. It's one of those, original ideas that really fits well with the game. It's kind of I'm sure I don't think I ever got to that level as a kid. I only got to it later when I got the game on Virtual Console for Wii.
Right.
But if I imagine kids when seeing that, I'll be like, "Whoa, we're flying on a plane!" Music's pretty good. Right. The design is pretty good. It's a good level.
Yeah, definitely a fun level. It's different. That's just all I have to say is different, but it's cool.
Yeah.
Wing Fortress Zone is what we have next.
This is the one where Supersonic kind of broke it because there was a spot at the very beginning of the level because I couldn't get through certain spots because if I got Supersonic, I was moving too fast to keep up with the platforms, and if I wasn't Supersonic, I was dying. And I ended up cheesing it somehow and breaking through part of the top of the level, like a speedrunner, and skipping part of the whole thing, which just got me through the platforming section, I think. So I don't know how much I skipped, but I skipped a lot. Your thoughts on this one?
I'm trying to remember it as well. It's been a couple weeks.
It's been like a month since we played Sonic 2, which is our fault. We should have saved this, or we should have recorded this a long time ago.
We should have done it before E3.
Yeah, at this point, I don't even like Sonic the Hedgehog. At this point, we're only continuing this series to spite Dylan.
You're right. Him and his negative comments.
We're going to get through this whole thing in spite of you, and you'll never see this because you don't watch our content. No, I love Sonic.
Sonic's great.
And I think the last
but not least is Death Egg Zone.
Fucking Metal Sonic is tough as balls in this game. Holy cow, what a hard fight.
It was pretty tough. I do remember that. I will always remember that. Yeah. It's a challenge.
What was that the final boss? Or was there something right after it? Do you fight the Death Egg Robo after that?
I know it's one zone. So I think there's a fight after Metal Sonic.
Is it against Robotnik of some sorts?
I don't
Was the Death Egg
remember.
Robo the final boss of Sonic 1?
The final boss of Sonic 1 was you in the chamber with Robotnik.
I don't think that was the final boss. I thought there was something else.
Yeah, it was. That was the final fight.
I'm going to Google something real quick. Talk about, why don't you tell us about your favorite boss fight in the game, Joey?
I mean, I'm gonna go right back to Nights. It was just lots of fun. Like the pinball dynamic of it, shooting around. And then of course there were those like instances where if you don't hit him at the right angle, you take damage. But it's like,
Whoa! Ah,
no,
sorry, very loud.
Yeah, Casino Night Zone would be my favorite boss fight. I would also have to say that as classic as it is, I loved the Emerald Hills boss fight.
It's very classic, and I feel like it's almost better than the Sonic or Green Hill Zone's boss fight.
The one with the swing ball.
Yeah, you're right about the final bosses, Joy. My favorite boss fight is Aquatic Ruin.
That is a fun one.
Because, and I love the dynamic thing. You have the two totem poles that rise up, and Robotnik takes a weird
He's shooting
hammer.
those arrows.
He takes the hammer, he whacks the totem poles, and arrows shoot out of them. Doesn't make any sense, but it's awesome. And you climb the arrows, and you can attack Robotnik. And there's different ways you can play this boss fight in different ways depending on how you do it, because you can get on top of the totem poles and stay up there, or you can just keep climbing off the arrows. It's really cool. I love it. It's such an interesting, like, creative use of the level,
right?
That I think a lot of other stages kind of almost miss, but miss in some ways.
It made me think, yeah, definitely. Some missed, whereas that one definitely took advantage of the stage advantage.
Mm-hmm. What was your favorite song? Mine was Metropolis Zone. Yours was Casino Night?
It was either Casino Night or, I mean, no, I would have to say my favorite would come from Aquatic Ruin is pretty good.
Aquatic Ruin? I don't even remember Aquatic Ruin. Wait, no, I'm kind of playing in my head. It doesn't have very iconic beats to it.
Sing it out loud. Come on.
I can't even think of it. It's like, no, I'm only getting parts of it. I can't. It wouldn't make any sense. It would just be like, no. I think my phone went off, and it should not have gone off, actually. Alrighty, well, that is going to do it for our recap of the game. Obviously, we liked it very much. I think this is definitely... I mean, Sonic 1, I think, is a good baseline of what it means to be a good Sonic game. Like, if it's better than Sonic 1, it's a good game.
Yes.
If it's worse than Sonic 1, I don't know what to tell you.
It's going down on the list, on the bottom of the list.
It's going below the 50% line. And I think Sonic 2, definitely, obviously, number 1 at this point. I think you agree with that.
For right now, obviously. Yeah, definitely.
And I mean, honestly, that's pretty much all we can say about it. It's such an iconic Sonic game, and I feel like it's unfortunate that Sega's having a weird time releasing Sonic 3 in terms of re-releases, because you only really get Sonic 1 and Sonic 2 anymore. I think it has something to do with Michael Jackson. Don't quote me on that. Because I think something about him composing music for Sonic 3.
Did he really?
Something about that. We'll let you know in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Maybe more, depending on how consistent we are with these.
Oh, God. We're going to try and be more consistent. Really, we will. We got slowed down really bad with E3, but we'll be back on top of it.
Specifically us two getting slowed down with E3. But yeah, I think... do we want to include any other sort of ranking systems for this things, like favorite level? What was your favorite level in Sonic 1?
Yeah, let's do like a top 3 for each of us as far as levels go for each game.
My top 3, Chemical Plant number 1, Metropolis number 2, and oh god, there's so many good levels in this game. Hilltop for number 3.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna go with Casino Night Zone, Hilltop Zone, and then for my third, I'm obviously not gonna pick Emerald Hill Zone. That's just why would I pick the basic? I'm gonna go with Mystic Cave Zone.
Mystic Cave Zone, interesting. Okay.
Yes.
Now, if you're to take your number 1 pick and compare it to, we'll keep this separate for now. If I were to take my number 1 in Sonic 1, which is Green Hill Zone, and my number 1 in Sonic 2, which is Chemical Plant Zone, Chemical Plant Zone is definitely the better level. What do you think about between? I believe yours was Marble Garden Zone, and I'll make a graphic for this and keep track of this later. Marble Garden Zone versus Casino Night Zone.
Casino Night takes it.
Alrighty, so Sonic 2 is currently in the lead with two level victories.
Yeah.
And, of course, in our official ranking, Sonic 2, number 1. Number 2, blank. Number 3, blank. And number 4, Sonic 1.
That's right. For whatever reason, out of 2 games, we're putting number 1 on the 4th.
Because I know that CD3 and Knuckles are going to beat it, but I'll let it sit at number 4 for right now, even though its ass is going to number 5.
It's dropping way more than just 4.
Yep.
I can see some other games taking it down.
Yeah. Well, alrighty, that's going to do it for us today. This has been Team Neatabone's Rank-A-Bone podcast. We were trying to hit a nice little 20-minute mark, but we ended up going to a little bit over time to 27 minutes. We want to try to keep these in sort of a 20-minute rapid pace, so I'll probably... maybe I'll cut out the small talk part we had in the beginning, because it's probably unnecessary. But yeah... We try to do this every week. Different Sonic game. Obviously, we're doing Sonic CD next week, and then going from there. You can find the official list in episode 1. I think I put it in the description, maybe. And yeah, Joey, do you have any other final thoughts before I do some plugs?
No, just stay tuned for the next one, guys. We're gonna be pumping them out more consistently than I know from the last one, but we'll keep it coming.
Yeah. We do some other videos too. We do a top 5 custom stages of the week. We are actually putting together a top 15 because we missed the last 3 weeks. And I think at this point we're going to be missing a 4th week as well. So maybe we should do top 20. But it's going to be a bigger video for the next week just to make it up to our community. And that is done with my friend Dylan and I. We also posted a crap ton of E3 reaction videos, but these are not your normal everyday reaction videos. These are a combination of E3 reaction videos, a drinking game, which I handcrafted myself. I slaved over and got us...
Oh, yeah, you handcrafted. That's why it was stacked against us so much on a couple of the conferences. Nintendo, Sony.
Stacked against us or made very effective for the sake of getting drunk?
Made effective on your side. You were targeted.
We all win. And the last thing is we combined it with a pseudo Avengers parody skit show. And that's a very weird thing to say, but it makes sense if you take all the context together. We have all 6 conferences that we did. We did Microsoft, Bethesda, Ubisoft, Square Enix. We did Sony, which you may be thinking there was no Sony this year. We actually looked back at 2006 Sony's E3 press conference, which is infamous for being very terrible. It was indeed very terrible. Bad. And we got very drunk from it. And because we had work the next day, we could not do Nintendo, so we also did 2006 Nintendo's conference, which was a lot better, but still pretty dry. It also got us very drunk. So enjoy those. I'm going to be doing a supercut, so if you don't want to watch the full videos, you can watch the supercut, which will be about 10 to 15 minutes, a lot more choppier and funnier, and have all the skits together in a nice, organized fashion. So be on the lookout for that. And that is about it. That's all pretty much we do. We do some other videos, but whatever. They're garbage. Don't watch those.
Don't throw shade at the plugs, man.
YouTube.com/banner, subscribe, like, whatever you can do for us. Everything helps. See you guys next week. And that'll be about it. Thank you all for watching.
Thanks, guys. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, quite a crew this